Jersey Congressman Jeff Van Drew is a Democrat turned Republican who sits on the House Judiciary Committee, and he joins me now. Congressman, great to see you as always. How does the party that always hyperventilates about democracy, Donald Trump's a threat to democracy, convince its voters to just ignore all those primaries that 14 million people voted in for Joe Biden earlier this year?
Look, yesterday was a sad day for America, believe it or not. And it was sad because, number one, just as you pointed out, we had primary elections. And those primary elections are where the electorate at large go and vote for the candidate of their choice. We're going to completely, remove any effect that they would have. They're not important anymore. We're going to have a select group of a few thousand people that are the insiders, the backroom people, the people that make the deals in the supposed smoke-filled rooms, as they were in history, and they're going to make the decision. That's sad, and that's unfortunate. What's equally unfortunate is that the Democratic leaders knew all along that Joe Biden had this problem, and they wouldn't have removed him because they basically did. They made it impossible for him to continue. They wouldn't have removed him except that they looked at internal polling. This is not a function. What the Democratic Party did here is not a function of trying to do the right thing for America. It is a function of bad polling that they received over and over again. The fact that it became real to them that they might lose this election and that they are always worried about the end game, and the end game for them is winning. Last thing I'll leave you with, do not underestimate them. Don't high five. Don't feel, boy, we got this thing. Don't be saying Kamala Harris is weak or whatever she is, but know that they know how to win and they're going to fight hard. This is far from over. We will prevail, but we have to work real hard to the last minute of the last day.
Yeah, you mentioned the whole smoke-filled rooms thing. I think a lot of people assume that's how it's all going to play out for the Democrats, but those who are in charge of the process would like you to believe otherwise. Listen.
We will execute the most successful convention in our party's lifetime. And thanks to you, we will nominate a Democratic president, and we will defeat Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
So whatever is going to happen, all these people who are interested in getting into the process is open. Get into it. Look at the rules. It's there. And I've said, you could use this process to effectively have a mini primary if that's what you are interested in having.
Okay, so assuming for argument's sake that the smoke-filled rooms hypothesis doesn't play out, or at least that's not what they show to the public, how do you expect the logistics of ultimately picking a candidate to play out in front of all of us?
Look, they're going to put on the best show they possibly can. And I never want to underestimate the person I'm running against or the group I'm running against. They never underestimate us. So I think they're going to put on the best darn show they can. And remember, they're going to have the mainstream media on their side. They're going to have the celebrities on their side. They're going to make Kamala Harris the second coming. They're going to make her seem like she's unbelievable, that she's focused, that she's dynamic, that she's amazing. It's going to be a whole new game. They already have pushed people out. Dean Phillips was never listened to, and Dean Phillips on the Democrat side was telling the truth about Joe Biden. Everybody knew the truth, but they just wouldn't let it out. The mainstream media and the celebrities and everybody else protected him. And it's the same deal here. They pushed, by the way, they pushed Robert Kennedy out too. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. They didn't allow him to really engage the way he should have been allowed to engage. They're everything they say they're not. It's a closed door for most people that want to have an opportunity. They have super delegates, so the people that are the power brokers have much more weight than the average delegate who just comes from a local town, state, and county. This is going to be a show. Now, whether they can control it all is a different story. That's what we're going to find out. But I kind of bank on them doing an amazingly good job, even if they don't, because I want to be ready for the worst, because I want to win. That's what we all should be doing.
Meantime, Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheatle expected to testify today on failures leading up to the assassination attempt on Trump. But she never went to the crime scene firsthand. This thing happened, the assassination attempt, over a week ago. How has Cheatle not been fired already, Congressman?
He should be fired. Cheatle is an example of somebody that was worried about quotas, somebody that was worried about being woke, worried about your pronouns, worried about everything but the job that she was supposed to do. And we have this too often now in American society because of the Democrats. Frankly, this is not the only case of it. Look at Boeing, same thing. They were worried about everything but making safe airplanes, and we saw what happened. So she should have been at the scene. She should have had some real explanations. I mean, some of her explanations were absurd. A sloped roof? Guess what? We put people on roofs all the time, whether they're construction folks or whether it's going to be the Secret Service. They're able to deal with that. There was obviously a communication breakdown. And as someone, I was very involved with the huge rally, the biggest rally President Trump has ever had, over 100,000 people in New Jersey on the Wildwood Beach and Boardwalk. And they had drones in the air. They had interaction with the sheriff's officers, interaction with local police, interaction with the Secret Service. I don't know what went wrong here, but a lot did. We, number one, have to identify it. She needs to be removed in the process. We need somebody who's really going to do a good job for the Secret Service. The agents, most of them are great. It's the people at the top in so many of these agencies right now because of what the Democrats have done. And we've got to get this agency refocused or we're going to lose a life. If President, and we did lose a life, for God's sake, a poor innocent fireman. If President Trump hadn't just turned his head less than an inch, he'd probably be gone now.
And we shouldn't be hearing about these budgetary limitations. Your budget's over $3 billion. There aren't that many ex-presidents and family members of ex-presidents. You should be able to handle full security for those individuals for less than $3 billion. Congressman Jeff Van Drew, appreciate your time this morning.
No matter how much money you throw at stupidity, it's still stupidity. And I thank you for having me.
Congressman, thank you.